Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. If you're new here, I'm Jamie. This will be a reading for Taurus, Sun, Moon, Rising, and Venus placements. We're going to do an April overview, and boy, is this going to be a good month for Taurus. If you're completely new to tarot, it's important to know that not every reading for Taurus is actually going to resonate with you. So if you feel like the reader's wrong or like it's just not your story, just throw that reading away. Don't take it. And remember, there's no gender. If I pull kings, queens, emperors, or empresses, I'm not talking about a male or a female specifically. It's a personality. So you'll definitely know who we're talking about. All of my information's in the description of the video. If you want to catch more readings, you can subscribe to the channel. It'll notify you whenever I post. I also offer a membership, so if you're interested in that, you can click the join button and it'll take you over to the membership tab so you can check out all the perks. So as you see, I have 2 Oracle already out, and I'll explain that in a minute once I pull all the cards. Wow, some of you have a major Aries placement and should watch that reading too. Okay, so with these cards, so we start off with full moon in Libra. A win-win outcome is forecast. On the 12th of April, we have a full moon in Libra. So we're talking about heightened emotions and relationship drama. But to better relationships. You see, sometimes there has to be a little conflict for everybody to state their case and smooth things out. It's kind of that type of energy. So by the end of the full moon, the relationships in your life should be more harmonious. It's going to be a major look at your independence, but also your need for others. So keep that in mind. Now, on the 19th, obviously, the Sun moves into Taurus, and life stops being so fucking chaotic. Like, honestly, Aries season has just been a little bit exhausting. It's been very retrograde-y, and as soon as the Sun enters Taurus, all of that nonsense stops. You're going to have patience again. You may be more productive. It's just more stable energy. Now, on the 27th, there's a new moon in Taurus, and that's why I have the Prosperity Lies Ahead card out. And of course, this encourages us to really future plan, especially in earthly matters. So we're talking, 401ks, pensions, healthcare benefits, big things that are going to matter long term. And this also includes in relationships. And then finally, on the 30th of April, Venus moves into Aries. And so this is going to be hot, steamy, passionate, Twitter-pated spring fling type of energy. Now, if you're already in a relationship, it's still going to be the same. But essentially April is a month of abundance and fertility. And so there should be some watching out for that for some folks, if you're not looking for that in your life. Okay, so let's get into these cards. And we'll start with love. I think when it comes to love, you may be a little bit exhausted. So I don't know if I even showed you the main energies. So the main energy is the 7 of Pentacles. We have the High Priestess in your current energy, Cancer, Pisces energy. Clarifying the 7 of Wands, the 10 of Wands, the Page of Swords. And the challenge is the Page of Wands. There's like this want to find a romantic relationship that is worth your while, where you're going to get something back out of it, right? This is the main objective. This is what we want. The problem is that there seems, I just think that somebody out here has been dating a lot. And I say dating because it's not like really getting into like stable relationship shit. Like I'm looking at somebody here who maybe gets ghosted sometimes has to ghost people because they're just kind of ridiculous. There's like a lot of stress or tension around relationships. There's almost a defensiveness to even having a relationship. Um, but I see that changing with the Ten of Wands. You may kind of let that funniness go. I feel like there's a specific person who may have ghosted or just went silent, and that made you really feel some type of way. But in the month of April, I really see you letting this go. This defensiveness. It's not like just towards this person. I feel like, this hurt you, and so now you're a little defensive towards relationships, romantic ones in general. But I actually see you starting to talk to people again. The Ten of Wands, the Page of Swords, and the Page of Wands, it's like you're finally letting go of, that old stress, that old baggage, that past thing. And it's probably right around the time of the new moon. I see you starting to flirt with people. There's kind of like two more people that are going to be coming into your life here. And one of them is a talker. But they might actually be quite intelligent. Like, they're just, I want to say, well-versed. And then there's another person who's more passionate. They really love what they do. And you may see them as like a busy person, but they have like an interesting like chemistry, so like they're very fiery and passionate. And I think that you're going to actually end up having to choose between two people by the end of April. So I feel like you're starting April off like defensive, not even wanting to talk to anyone anymore because you've had such bad experiences just attempting to date and get a damn relationship off the ground, to actually getting back into that more flirtatious energy and this makes sense with Venus moving into Aries. So I think there's been some bumps in the road in those relationships if you're single. Now, if you are in a relationship, the same energy with the Seven of Pentacles, I think you want to get back what you put in. I think that there could be some sort of like passive aggressive tendencies in the relationship. You feel like you don't want to step on any toes or trigger anyone or start a fight. And I think that in the beginning of April, it may just all come out. Like really someone could get like triggered and just like explode. But it has to happen because there's some old baggage, again, that has to be dropped. Like something has to be said. It has to all get aired out. Like people need to be reassured. It needs to be spoken about. It needs to be let go. So I do feel like if you are in a relationship and there's been some like kind of like Cold War stuff going on, it's going to end. It might get a little explosive at first, but eventually both people will be able to, state their needs with one another. And again, harmonize that relationship. And then moving towards the end of the month, it's more flirtatious and more chatty again, Now, when it comes to money, I think that it's natural for Taurus to always be kind of future planning when it comes to money. But again, I think this is going to be a big theme, especially around the end of the month with that new moon energy. I feel like here's the thing, is like, I think that a lot of you have a job that's decent. It pays the bills, it keeps a little money in the savings, you're not doing bad for yourself. But You feel like you could be doing better. Here's the thing. I think that the job is exhausting, but not in a way where it's like a lot of physical labor. I think some of the people that you have to deal with at work is fucking exhausting. Now, for some of you, this could be the clients that you're forced to deal with at work. For some of you, this is your coworkers. For some of you, it's the management. For some of you, it's just the job. The job is just literally laboring and exhausting. And you may start looking into different opportunities here. You know, it's like I could have one money that's on the books with a degree, da 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 da, or whatever I'm doing, but then I could also have like a side hustle, like a side project to really make sure that I can make all the ends meet and have like a fat savings. And it's like something like that is kind of like the end of April is like, instead of being so like negative or feeling like, man, I'm exhausted, it's like just having all these ideas like this. Like when it comes to money. Be like, I don't know if I can get another job because, you know, I can't do 40 more hours a week, but I need to make two of my paycheck. And then you find out, like, you know, you can, like, go on a website and clean people's houses for, like, $250 an hour. It's like perfect side hustle. Actually, it makes more money than your job, you know, something like that. So I think that actually this will work out great. Like, you'll be a lot, like I said, patient and productive once it finally hits Taurus season, and a lot more practical when it comes to money. But I feel like it's going to be a creative month for you. Like, you're just going to be having some really like creative ideas, especially around money and how you want to make it in the future. When it comes to like interpersonal relationships, by this I mean friends, family, I feel like a lot of you just hang out with your kids. That's all you want to do too. I think that a lot of you have learned to just really like not fuck with people. Y'all could literally have like anxiety a little bit. Like you don't like you'd rather just be like in a house like with your family, like your immediate family, and really not like deal with people. I could see that changing though. At the Ten of Wands, the Page of Swords, the Page of Wands, you could actually be like you know, when we say the flirtatious energy, we don't always just mean romantic. Like this could be, you know, like meeting people with good chemistry, good vibes, people you actually want to talk to or hang out with. Yeah, I think a lot of y'all have been like kind of like going through a lot and like all by yourself, and that's gonna change. How I would give the advice for the month is do not invest in anything that you're not going to benefit from. You know what I mean? I do want to say that you do need to pay attention to this tendency to sort of like isolate your defensiveness towards people and the level of like stress or anxiety you have when you are around people. You know, like that could be something that you need to work on, like some breathing exercises, some, you know, like looking up some stuff about anxiety and how to really cope with it. Because you do actually need, you know, friends and support in your life. And this will be a really good month to find them. I also feel like there's a lot of opportunity coming in. So for a lot of you, it's like you could be finding a new job where there's just better benefits and there's a long-term plan that's better than where you are. And in doing so, you also bump into friends. And randomly, when you're going to lunch at work, you just bump into the love of your life. It's just that kind of month. So take things a little bit lightly, but don't allow anything to distract you. Don't waste your time on anything or anyone that's not healthy for you, that's not like going to get you to a specific goal this month, you know? And do your best to really work on the relationships in your life and how you can try to create harmony in them, some type of balance. Some of y'all need to go the hell outside and meet some new people, okay? I'll see you soon.